So, we're about to hit October. We're in 2 mite treatments, 2 oxalic acid runs, and I'm going to go back and do a bit of a mite check this morning. Most of the hives seem to be doing pretty well, except for one, which is a dying hive. And I'll explain a little bit more later on that, but 3 times we've given them queen cells to raise a queen, and 3 times they've torn them down. Doesn't appear to be a queen in there. They're down to about an 8-frame nuke, and it's October, or almost October, so, they're not going to get queen right. They're not going to make it through. Whether they have a young, infertile queen, it's hard to say. If so, she's no bigger than a worker because we've dug through that looking for it. There are no laying workers, so it's broodless. They're collecting a lot of honey, which queenless hives do because, well, all their energy can be put into collecting honey. So, well, let's take a look at the mites. So it's been 4 days since our last treatment. I do see mites. There's a lot of ripped open cappings and what have you mixed in there, but you can generally look. I'll try to take a picture so we can zoom in here in a moment or two. But we've done 2 treatments, so this is the result of the 2nd treatment. I normally do 4 or 5 treatments, or just keep at it until I don't find mites. If on the 5th treatment I'm still seeing mites, I'll continue with the oxalic acid. But, it's still a honey flow. There's still goldenrod out there. And the bees are on the goldenrod, so it's not quite time to hunker down for the winter. Once we start getting killing frosts, we'll switch them over to feed, weigh the hives, and see where we're at. So this is hive number 3. Which I mentioned before is the one that is perpetually queenless. Some people might say, well, why don't you just combine this with another stronger colony and be done with it? Well, there's always a chance when you do a combine that they'll kill the good working queen. They're collecting a lot of resources. They're not going to make it without a queen and without brood. That's just no future. As I say, they might have a young queen in there that just never got fertile and never started laying eggs, not even drone. Whatever reason, they just tear down any queen cells we put in there. So no drone layers or what have you. So my plan here on this hive is just to let them be bees and let them collect, and when the population dies off, we'll take the frames of honey that are in this hive and we'll move them into any particular other hives that might be short. We've got maybe 2 or 3 of the 16 hives that are a little light. Most of them are pretty heavy, which is good. And as I say, we're still in the goldenrod flow, so we'll just take it as it goes. In the meantime, the other girls seem to be very happily buzzing along. When it starts getting a little colder, I'm going to switch these all to, smaller reducer sizes, entrance reducers. Right now, there's a lot of goldenrod out there, so the active hives, keep them open, and it's still getting into the 80s during the day, so it's not like there's a cold issue. These girls, I don't know why we just couldn't get them to accept a queen or build a queen, and yet they are collecting some pollen, which is really weird, because usually when they're queenless and when they're broodless, they just kind of stop collecting pollen. But they're still going along. The rest of the hives, well, I got to check the mite count. So far it doesn't look too bad, but we'll see as we go through the park. We got a couple of girls just taking a break from the morning routine and climbing around my suit. This hive here was an 8-frame hive, and what we did is when I converted that other hive number 3 to 8 frames, we took the hive bodies from that and put them on this hive, which had been one of our own 8 frames, only 8 frames, because there's no solid bottom. There's a solid bottom board on the 8-frame hive, and we want to really have everybody on 10 so we can pull them and do the mite checks. All in all, They seem happy. Well, the shed used to be a safe area for us to come last week when we got done and came back here. We were just sitting around chatting, and one little girl decided, well, I recognize that guy, and came over and stung Ed on the neck. Happens sometimes, you know. They get once they switch into that mode where they want to sting, it's kind of hard to get them out of that mode. But for the most part, they're gentle. I say that, you know, but who knows? In any case, this is a short video, and you know, we're probably going to do an acrylic acid treatment later today. I've got enough videos up on those OA treatments that I think you'd be bored to watch it, but you can go back and take a look at them. It's kind of a boring procedure. You know, load up the vaporizer, stick it in there, and wait. So I'll spare you that. It's been a kind of a good year at Buzz Park, and as I say, you know, right now goldenrod's in bloom. When that falls out of bloom, then we start the feed, and then we start getting ready for winter and put sugar cakes on, and you know, burlap taps. I'll cover some of that, provided our concert season doesn't go crazy again. Long story there. In any case, until next time, from Buzz Park, remember to like and subscribe, and goodbye.